Me and my family just moved out to Hawaii for 6 weeks, and I want to share with you, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like there's a lot you want to push forward and move forward in your life, a lot of goals you have, but you're just not moving them forward, how shifting your environment, even if you stay in the same place, how shifting your environment can help unlock new momentum, new thinking, new ways of being that will allow you to push forward and start achieving your goals. Let's jump right in. Okay, so the first reason a new environment can be so impactful to help you push forward and start reaching your goals faster is what I call the trigger cleanse. If you've read the book Atomic Habits, he talks about how habits all start with a trigger. Whether we knowingly know the trigger or not, everything we do, all the habits, all the daily actions that we just kind of do on autopilot, they're all started by a trigger, right? You might get home from work after a long day, you're tired, you're frustrated, the kids are like being crazy, and just like seeing the couch, just seeing the remote, it's just like a trigger, or just seeing a bag of chips in the pantry. It's just like a trigger for you to, start binging the TV show, start binging the food, right? Or driving home from work and seeing a fast food restaurant off to the side of, on that daily drive home might trigger you to want to eat that fast food. So when you get into a new environment, you get a fresh new lens. Like you get a fresh start on all the triggers. Like there's none of the same old triggers that you used to have. And your bedroom can be different, everything can be different, so you can reset and start establishing and choosing correct triggers for the habits that you want. So you can go in saying, hey, I want to be able to wake up earlier. So you set up your environment for triggers to help you get up earlier. Or, hey, I want to make sure I'm working out every single day. And so like you set up your environment and your time and your schedule for the trigger to work out every day. Or, hey, I want to push this project forward. So you set up triggers to make that happen. And so when you're able to get in a new environment, you're able to reset all the triggers that cause all the habits that you do, and you're able to really start moving forward a lot faster than when you're stuck in the rut of these same old triggers that have been triggering you for years and years and years in your same environment. So you can do that just by shifting your whole bedroom around, moving all the furniture, or shifting your office around. There's times where my desk is on this side of my office and I just switch it to the complete other side. So I have like new fresh environment, new fresh triggers, and now I can implement new habits with a lot less drag, a lot less difficulty to implement the new habits. So try shifting things around and think about, what are the triggers that are causing me to do the habits I don't want, and how can I shift my environment to create new triggers that allow me to do the habits that I do want. Okay, so one of the other really cool things about getting into a new environment, specifically in the way that me and my family have done here with me and my wife and my son, in traveling and going to a completely new place, is it's actually giving me the ability to test my business, or even if you don't have a business, like test the parts of my life that are going to fall apart without me physically there, right? What pieces of my business are going to struggle without me there? What, who in my team can step up and really take on more leadership and more accountability for some of those areas that are maybe going to struggle while I'm gone. So it's really like a test to see, hey, what's the strength of my business, or what's what the book Built to Sell calls founder dependency, right? Is my business completely dependent on me as the founder? Or is your life, like when it comes to a lot of the just things that you're juggling and holding up in life, is it completely dependent upon you and you physically being there? Or do you have freedom, right? When you talk about freedom, free will, the ability to make decisions, to move, to go places, right? Do you have that in your life, or are you trapped into that spot and into that place? And so to just like pick up and leave for 6 weeks like we've done, it gives you the chance to test those things and really to start finding, okay, yeah, that definitely is going to fall apart, or hey, yeah, we saw some messes with that, or this struggled while I was gone. So how can I put more systems in place? How can I put more automation in place? How can I find team members and leaders who can fill these roles and take on this ownership, so that it creates more strength, more stability in the foundation of my business and my life, and offers me more and more free will. A lot of people talk about, wanting financial freedom. And here's the interesting thing, not even the top 1% of people have financial freedom, because most of those people, they built their wealth in a way where they're tied to it, where they're like physically locked in. It's like almost like instead of building freedom, they built themselves a prison. You hear that talked about a lot in the business world. And so make sure you're intentionally building it for the thing that you want. And this is one way to test that and to start to see where are the areas that are going to break without me. The other cool thing is, if you do have a business and you talk about this idea of founder dependency, it's one of the things that will destroy the value of your business the fastest, right? So if you want to sell your business at some point, no one is going to buy the business if it's completely founder dependent, because the value of the business is in you. And so if you sell it to them and you're no longer there. The business just lost all the value that you bring to it. And so as you're building the business, as you're creating a valuable, enterprise value in your company, you've got to figure out ways to how do I eliminate the need for me, right? You can still be a CEO because you might replace yourself with a future CEO, but how do you make sure you're not just have your hands in all the buckets, being a founder that's just like running with his head cut off, doing everything in the business? You got to find leaders, put them in place, build systems, build teams, build departments, build operations in a way where it's strong and it does not depend on you. That creates the enterprise value where someone in the future could come in and say, hey man, I want to buy this company. And here's the beauty of it. It's going to keep functioning. It's going to keep being profitable. It's going to keep growing, even when I buy it from the founder and he may no longer still be there in that same active role. Okay, so one of the other really cool things about changing your environment, especially if you're going to travel or do something, even if it's just like 2 weeks or a week or a few days, I think, the longer term is better. This is, something that really came from me out of 4-Hour Workweek. He talked about, can you take a 4-week trip? Can you take an 8-week trip? So this is the first really time I've done this at this level and to really test things, but he talks about how you can create intentions for that time. Right? Sometimes in our normal life, in our normal environment, we're kind of just stuck in the repetitiveness of it. And it's sometimes hard to set new goals, set new targets, and really get excited about them. But I was able to take this 6 weeks, and it's almost like a game. It's been gamified inside this challenge frame of like, what's possible in the next 6 weeks? Who can I become in the next 6 weeks? Right? And so I have relationship focuses. I have focuses with my business. I set everything up before I left with my team of like, hey, here's the frame, here's the challenge, here's the game. Right? What can we do in the next 6 weeks in your department, as an individual, as a team? How can we grow in the next 6 weeks? And it creates this container for growth that it's just really hard to create when you're just in that consistent day to day, monotonous grind. And so when you move environments and you go somewhere like this, it creates the ability to create intention. So another huge intention for me inside of this time is my relationship with my family, right? So I work a decent amount, and I wanted to say, what would be possible for my relationship with my wife if we were spending, 6, 7, 8 hours a day together, living in the same house, I'm working from home. Like, what's possible in my relationship with my son, spending that much time with him? And there's difficulties that come with it. There's a lot more collisions. There's a lot more opportunities to argue and fight and do those things, but it also creates all those opportunities to get through those things, work through those things, have those conversations. So anyways, if you have goals or intentions that you want to set, or things you're like, man, I really want to, implement this in my life or hit this goal in a short period of time, a really awesome way to kind of force yourself into a container to make that possible is to go change your environment, right? Like, leave your house, go rent an Airbnb for a time, or go live with someone else for a time. And when you reset your environment, it gives yourself a container like, hey, I'm only here for 6 weeks and now I have to get it done. Right? I have this time and I'm focused on this one thing, and it eliminates a lot of the distractions, allows you to focus and move forward quickly. Okay, the last reason, there's so many other reasons, but the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to shifting your environment and why it's so important to get out of the daily environment that we live in, our house, our business, our office, all those things, is because it's really hard to get a high level view and create vision and create future goal setting and pacing when you're inside of it, right? When you're able to kind of get outside of the system and the routine, you're able to see it from the outside and start saying, where do I want to take this? Okay, what is all this system? What's everything I'm building? What is it leading to? Where is this going? And it gives you time and space to set clear goals, clear targets, clear visions. So when you get back into that system and routine, there's a new fire, there's a new commitment to where this thing is going. Right, one of my friends, he shared this example with me. He said, it's like if you are trying to cut a road through the jungle and you're leading a team to cut this road through the jungle. They could be doing all kinds of work, chopping down trees, cutting out bushes, slashing through the forest, but literally just like creating a big circle. And so it takes someone getting in a helicopter and going up above, the canopy of the rainforest and saying, guys, we're going this way, and continually setting that direction, because energy spent even on one tree that's off course, it's all that time and energy, on that tree instead of the trees that are going to set, the course for where the road is trying to go. So getting outside of your environment, outside of that daily routine and in your home and your office, those types of things, it allows you to get in that helicopter, fly above the canopy, and start, directing your team and all of your efforts and your systems towards that's where we're going, that's where we're heading. And if you just are down there in the jungle, even the best, navigator and leader is going to have a hard time being consistent in directing the team in the right direction. So gets outside that environment, gives you that clarity, the ability to set visions and targets and go in the direction that you're really trying to go. That's the last thing. This is a short video, but I wanted to share this with you because we just got out here. I wanted to get some content going, but really to invite you and challenge you to get in some new environments. Even if you're going to stay at your house or at your office, like shift things around. Like even sometimes just cleaning your desk and like resetting it, showing up to work a little bit early and cleaning everything and being like, okay, I'm fresh start. Here's a new environment. That can make a shift for you. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling burnt out, if you're just feeling tired, sometimes in the middle of my day, I'm just like, man, I'm just like not feeling it. I'll take 20 minutes, I'll start shifting my environment around, and then I'll go back at it, and there's a new excitement, new energy. So shift your environment. I would encourage you to figure out a way to spend multiple weeks outside of your environment to really get clarity, to really push some goals forward, create a container that you can do some incredible things in. So anyways, I appreciate you watching the video. Subscribe, comment, let me know what things you're working on, what habits you're doing. If you've experienced something with changing your environment, I would love to hear about it so we can hang out in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.